created. In the words of one top lawmaker, it will be like suing the paramedic who gave you CPR because he forgot to provide you with a pillow. We're joined now by Representative Elijah Cummings, Democrat of Maryland and ranking member of the House Oversight Committee. Good afternoon, sir. You were the one who made that analogy between AIG and the paramedic. You point out that the American people gave a lifeline to this firm, and this is what the taxpayer gets in return, a lawsuit.
Basically what we got, Martin, was a slap in the face, too. The fact is that AIG was drowning. They came to the United States government for a loan to save them. As you said, we gave them $182 billion. And basically, they had a choice. Either they accept the loan of $182 billion, or they go into bankruptcy. And basically what would have happened is that very shareholders who will be deciding tomorrow whether to sue the United States government would have had stock that would be worthless. And so it's just amazing to me that they would do this. But again, this has been their attitude all along. Don't forget, Martin, this is the same group that gave their employees bonuses, the same ones that caused all the problems.
Of course, absolutely. No, why not? There are now some AIG shareholders who are already, as you know, bringing a $25 billion suit against the government because they claim the terms of the bailout were too onerous.
Yeah.
So I guess they'd have preferred, what, bankruptcy instead of the bailout?
Well, the fact is that they, you know, it's funny. They asked for the loan. They were very grateful for the loan. We helped them get through this very difficult crisis, even when they kind of, you know, just slapped us in the face by going on these junkets and having a good time while my constituents were suffering and losing almost everything they had. And then they turn around and do this. It is an insult to every single taxpayer in America. The
Atlantic recently ran a big expose on banks and the financial industry in general. And the author of that article appeared recently on Morning Joe. And here's what he had to say about curbing Wall Street greed. Take a listen, sir.
Sure.
Bankers have to go to prison when they are reckless. We have not had a single major banker go to prison in the wake of the financial crisis, and I think there was substantial wrongdoing. So there has to be a real risk.
That's the truth, isn't it, sir? The financial crisis has devastated the lives of millions of people in this country. Why hasn't one of them been held criminally responsible?
That's a good question, and we've asked that question many times in the Oversight and Government Reform Committee, and we still haven't gotten a decent answer. I can tell you, Martin, when I hear about some of the greed and the outright wrongdoing that took place on Wall Street, it is very painful, because then when I look at people in my neighborhood, if somebody stole a bike, a $300 bike,
of course. Now, you're the ranking member of the House Oversight Committee, of course. Its chairman, the risible Darrell Issa, is famous for his witch hunts against the White House. How come you guys don't come up and open an investigation into this foreclosure settlement that we've been hearing about over the last 2 days?
Well, one of the things that we did try to do, and I must give Chairman Issa credit, he and I wrote a letter on Friday asking them not to go forward with this settlement. This is one of the things we did jointly. Asked them not to go forward with it until we had an opportunity as a Congress and as a committee to review the terms of that agreement. And they basically said, no, we're going on and we're going to do it no matter what. And that's been their attitude all along, unfortunately. This deal that they came up with, Martin, is one which I think is probably going to be unfair to a lot of people who lost their homes. Keep in mind, we've got a settlement that totals about $10 billion, and basically it will never compensate a lot of these folks who lost their homes illegally through these banks. And so the banks easily get off. They pay $10 billion, which is a drop in the bucket for them, but while these homeowners are left to gather at most maybe $125,000, but most of them will average somewhere around $2,000.
And it will do absolutely nothing to prevent the kind of fraudulent practices that have marked the recent activities of so many of these banks. Now, thanks to Representative Elijah Cummings. Thank you, sir.
Good to be with you, Martin.
Thank you. Coming up.